Welcome to the Minnesota Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you with us this evening. We have a great panel on internships, co-ops, and research, getting hands-on experience during college. Before we get started with our presentations, just a few quick housekeeping items to go over. The first is that my name is Christopher, and I will be facilitating this session. We also want to remind you that your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. And also attendees are certainly encouraged to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time utilizing the Q&A feature. This is just the first day of 3 days of sessions, which will include individual colleges presenting on their campuses, as well as other panel events. So please do sign up for those if you haven't already done so. And a recording of this session will be available at strivescan.com/Minnesota. Without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our panelists. And up first, we're going to hear from Jill from the University of Manitoba.
Hi, everyone. We're so excited to talk with you all about some of the great ways that you can get involved and really prepare yourself for a great career once you graduate. And there's plenty that you can be doing during university to get yourself set up from that. So I'm one of 3 schools that you'll hear from today. So I'm here representing the University of Manitoba. My name is Jill, and I'm the recruiter for students from the US. So reach out to me at any time with questions about admission, programs, or the application process. So we are located in the city of Winnipeg. If you're not familiar with Canada, we're right in the center of the country. So about halfway between Vancouver and Toronto, which you probably have heard of. It's about a 2.5-hour flight between those cities. And our closest US city is Grand Forks. So it's not too far of a drive. I myself am from Minneapolis, so it's about a 7-hour drive from there. So not far from the US border. Really great that you can get an international experience up in Canada, but without being too far from home, you don't have to go overseas to do that. Next slide, please. So I'll tell you a little bit about our university. We are located in the city, so you do have all of the access to city life and lots of things to do, but we're in a very safe residential area. And Canada as a whole is actually known for being a safe country to study in and live in as well. So our university was established in 1877. So we're the oldest university in Western Canada. And we do have a long history of excellence. And I do get the question all the time for students from the US of whether our degrees can transfer to the US as well. For jobs and graduate programs? And the answer to that is yes. So degrees from any Canadian school can transfer back. So you are welcome to do your degree here and either stay in Canada or move back home if you want. And we are quite a large school. So we have over 30,000 students studying from around the world, including about 18% international students, quite a few of those students being from the US. So you'll definitely meet people from the States as well. Next slide, please. So advantage number 1 of coming to study at the University of Manitoba is that you can get a great degree internationally that is accredited worldwide. So we are well known for our programs around the world, and you'll have no issues going on and using that degree for any career that you want, including professional programs. If you decide to go on to something maybe in health areas like nursing, or even education if you want to be a teacher and things like that. Next slide, please. And the second advantage is going to be the tuition price as well. So this is one reason why we're so popular amongst students from Minnesota. We have some of the lowest tuition that you can find in all of North America for international students. But beyond that, as a resident of Minnesota, which you actually have access to Canadian tuition prices. which are known for being very affordable. So you can see our tuition on the slide there. The reciprocity basically is like an in-state agreement for residents of Minnesota. So this is the average tuition for your entire year. So the average is about just over 4,000 US dollars per year for a full course load. And that does range a little bit. We have so many different programs to choose from, but it doesn't go much above about 6,000 US. And we are known for our research. So one way you can get involved in university is through research. So that is a way to actually get that job experience right on campus. So you would be working as a research assistant, helping out one of your professors, and all of your professors are actually currently doing research in their field. So there's lots of choices. We are known for our research around the world. We are part of U15, which is Canada's top 15 group of research intensive universities. So you'll have access to lots of great things that you can work on. Notably, we work in climate change. So we do actually have students who go on an icebreaker ship to the Arctic Circle each year. And that is one way to get some really cool experience. We also study functional foods and infectious diseases like Ebola and HIV. Next slide, please. And then probably the best thing that I can recommend to you for getting involved is through a co-op program. That stands for cooperative education. You can find that in the US at universities as well, but almost every university in Canada offers co-op programs for their students. So this is something that's really common to get involved in, and it's almost a surefire way to find a job in your field. So we actually have a lot of different programs that offer a co-op. It's very similar to an internship program, except with a couple of differences. You do this co-op program during your degree. So you don't need to add much time onto your degree to do this. And you get to work for 3 different employers and get paid for the work that you do. So you would do 3 full-time paid work placements for a total of 1 year. It does extend your graduation by 1 semester because we're able to fit those into the summer terms. Next slide, please. So you can do these co-op placements in lots of our programs, notably in the sciences, engineering, agriculture, but also in the humanities as well. So you can do that in business, architecture, and arts. So tons of our programs offer that. And your placements can be with lots of different types of companies. So our students in computer science have actually got some of the limited number of spots for students from around the world at Amazon and Google. So we're really proud of that. Or you can work for startups, agencies, government organizations, and more. So careers that may be difficult to access once you graduate, you can apply to those as a co-op student. And our employment rate is very high for co-op students. Business had 97% of students employed in their field full-time after graduation that did co-op. And it's paid on average about $20 an hour. So next slide, please. Moving on to some other options. Not every program has a co-op, so you can also get involved through a more traditional internship that you would have to work on your own to work that into your studies. Some programs like kinesiology and others offer a field placement, which is similar to that where you do work placements, or you can do clinical practice in our healthcare fields. But one of the coolest things we offer is if you have your own business idea and you want to get that started, and you're in any program at the university, it doesn't have to be business, you can go to our entrepreneurship center for free help starting your business. So they can help you with funding, making a business plan, marketing, and more. And you are connected with a venture coach. So that's someone who's done this themselves and has been successful. And you can work to come to Canada, you need a study permit, but that covers working as well. So you don't need a separate permit to work in a traditional job. Lastly, we'll cover a little bit of information about our university. We do just look at grades for admission, no SATs, no ACTs, and in most cases, no essays as well. So for our first year program, that is kind of like an open first year where you can choose from any courses, that is called University 1. Our admission's very straightforward. We're looking for a C+ average over your English, math, and your other 2 highest courses from grade 12. Next slide, please. For our other programs, we're looking for a bit higher average, usually about a B to B+ over certain courses. Business, for example, is looking at a B+ over English, your pre-calc, math, and 2 other courses. So for our application, it's live right now. So it just went up. You do have to apply by March 1st. So that is our deadline. Easy application, all online. It takes about 10 minutes, and your counselor can even email your grades to us since we just use those for admission. And I'll wrap it up for myself here. Thank you so much. And I will turn it over to the next presenter.
Thank you, Jill. That was awesome. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brandy Keeler, and I am going to talk a little bit about the College for Creative Studies, or CCS as we call it, and our career development opportunities at the school. In addition to being the Assistant Director of Admissions here at CCS, I'm also an alum from the school. I'm an art director and an entrepreneur, so I know firsthand what it looks like to be a student going to school, hoping to find a way to work in your field for a living. And after doing so, I have amazing things to say about the career development opportunities and education at CCS. So for those of you who haven't heard of the College for Creative Studies before, we are a 4-year private nonprofit, fully accredited art and design college located in Detroit, Michigan. We're actually Michigan's premier destination for an art education. We've been here since 1906. And what we do at our school is really, we're looking for those students who are interested in art, design, media, video, the visual arts. And we help them grow their talents, elevate their passions so that they can become the next generation of creative change makers, not only making a difference for themselves, but in the world. CCS, we're located in the cultural center of Detroit, otherwise known as Midtown Detroit, which is actually one of the country's top 10 up and coming neighborhoods for anybody who's interested in some awesome nightlife and music and culture. But really the heart of Detroit is that we are a city of makers. We have that innovative history with Henry Ford here. And so we're actually one of the only cities in the US to be awarded the United Nations UNESCO design designation. So we're a hub across the globe when people are looking to the US as far as who's doing design right. And so it's a great place for artists to come and learn. And we have a very diverse campus family comprised of students from across the country, across the world. And they're each bringing their unique perspectives and identities to enrich our family culture here at CCS. But we're a relatively small private school. So our student body is about 1,400 students, with our faculty to student ratio being about 9:1. And similar to what Jill said about her school, these faculty members are actively working in the industry, bringing their industry knowledge to the classroom setting. So for example, Tim Flattery, our Department Chair of Entertainment Arts, is a world famous concept artist. He just finished working on Captain Marvel, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and he's bringing that industry knowledge to the classroom for students interested in entering that same industry. And that's the case for all of our programs. So here you can see all of the 11 bachelor's degrees that we offer. We have Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees in 11 areas with 9 emphases. We also have 20 minors and 9 emphases and 6 master's degrees. So a lot of ways for students to tailor their education. And everything about our school is based on experiential hands-on learning, as 2/3 of our curriculum is actually studio-based. So students are actually in classes making work, with the remaining 1/3 of the curriculum being liberal arts-based. Here are some of the examples of some of the minors that students can study here at CCS. So it's great that as a student at CCS, if you have multiple interests, say you want to major in advertising, but you have an interest in photography, you can take that as a minor. In addition to our studio minors, students can also study some liberal arts minors like creative writing, critical theory, sustainability, and social responsibility. And we also have an entrepreneurial studies emphasis or concentration where students can graduate with a certification in business as well. So for these reasons, our alumni are finding successful careers at companies they've always dreamed of working at. This is just a snapshot of some of the many Fortune 500 companies that our graduates are going on to work at. And the reason this is because we have a heavy emphasis on real world experience, working with industry partners and connections to make sure that students are not just guided by their amazing faculty members, but by the people who are running their industry, who are leading their industry, who are hiring in their industry. So we have things like our internship program, which allows students who are qualified to earn academic credit while gaining firsthand experience in their chosen field. And our internship opportunities are really unique in that while they're related to your major, they are still paid. We only offer paid internship opportunities to our students. These can be done during the semester or during the summer. And they're available to primarily junior and senior students who have a 2.8 or higher GPA. But we do have some rare instances where students go out and find their own internships. So we have faculty approved internships for sophomores, for example. So some examples of what those look like is our fashion design students have standing internship opportunities with Calvin Klein. We have 2 slots every year with their internship program, or with Tory Burch and Ralph Lauren, or our advertising students interning at agencies like Campbell Ewald and Donor, or our transportation design students going on to intern at Honda, Tesla, Ford, or Nissan. I know in my personal experience as a student, I had 3 paid internships prior to graduating, all at advertising agencies, not once getting someone coffee, doing actual real world work that was building my portfolio. Another thing that we do really unique at CCS is something called sponsored studio projects, where they're studio-based work. You're actually producing work related to your field, but you're doing so for a real world company. So as an example, I'll show an example from our craft and material studies department where our fiber and textile students were learning their craft of printmaking. They're learning all the skills that they need for this program, but they're doing it for an assignment for a real company. And this assignment was for Guild and Grace, which is a wallpaper company where they do adhesive and innovative wallpapers. Those students are learning their craft, pitching their ideas to the client. And the great thing about these projects is that because of the level of teaching in the program, these students often have their work put into production. So for this class, all of those students have their wallpapers sold. They were able to earn royalties, AKA they got paid for those assignments. And that built their resume and portfolio. We've had sponsored studio projects with Nike where students actually create Jordan shoes that were sold. And they can say, in my 3rd year of college, I made a shoe that went on to be sold in stores, right? Or our interior design students working on layouts for the Henry Ford Health Systems Cancer Center. And the Henry Ford actually used those students' interior design ideas to build out that space. So they're really robust and amazing opportunities. The last thing we do to help students connect to their industry is something called Industry Day or Industry on Campus, where we actually bring to campus companies to recruit our students actively. So we've had over 400 companies in the last 3 years, over 100 of them being international. And it's like a reverse job fair where students set up their body of work, their portfolios, and companies are coming to offer students jobs. We have the anomaly, the issue where we're actually having to convince our students to stay and finish their senior year because so many of them have job opportunities in their 3rd year of CCS. I know that was the case for me. I knew I would work where I would be working, what agency I would be working at before I even finished my junior year at CCS. So these are great ways for you to feel that you know what you'll be doing beyond school, but also to position you to be in high-level positions outside of school, right? If you're touching industry before school, you have a better feel of what you're going to be doing. Your resume is stronger, your portfolio is stronger. So this is why LinkedIn named us one of the top 3 art and design schools in the country because of the employability, right? With 96% of our graduates working within their field within a year of graduation, and almost 70% within 6 months of graduation. I know for me, I started working in an agency 4 days after graduation. So we have alumni who are seeing a return on their investment. And both Money and Pay Scale magazines say we're a best return on investment college, we're best value school. So we're really proud of our students' industry experience leading to real-time careers. And last but not least, I want to quickly explain our application process for students who are interested. Our application process is similar to the previous college, where all we're looking at is your transcripts, your GPA, but because we're an art school, we're also looking at a portfolio of 8 to 12 pieces of artwork. Our minimum GPA requirement is a 2.5 or higher, and the portfolio requirements vary from major to major. It's a generalized portfolio, but we can share that information with students who are interested in applying by December 1st, which is our early action deadline. And that's how students are automatically considered for the highest amount of merit-based scholarship that we offer, which on average, our average merit-based scholarship is about $22,000 per year for our applicants. And that's a repeating 4-year scholarship. So with that being said, I am going to thank you all for learning a little bit about the career opportunities we have at CCS and pass it over to the next university to speak, University of South Dakota.
All right, thank you very much. Brandy, and thank you very much all for tuning in. This is Zeqi Chad Yen. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at the University of South Dakota. Very privileged to share some information with y'all. And before I start, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that I'm speaking to you from the traditional territory of the Oceti-Sakowin, or the better known as the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota people. And specifically, Vermilion, South Dakota, is situated in the heartland of the Yankton Sioux Nation, or Ihangtuan indigenous people, a group within the Oceti-Sakowin. So today I'm going to share with you the exciting opportunities here at USD and how that might pertain to your career success. Next, please. So first of all, just a glance of a USD, we are the premier institution at this in the state of South Dakota, and also the flagship university, meaning that we were the very first one to be established in 1862, so with 160 years of history. And also located conveniently in Vermilion, which means that we are just an hour south of Sioux Falls, the largest city in South Dakota, 2 hours east of Omaha, and less than 45 minutes northwest of Sioux City, Iowa, a very convenient location in this tri-state area. And our student body, we are looking at less than 10,000 students, so not too overwhelming. About 75% of whom are actually undergraduate students. So you will have plenty of a cohort coming in as a freshman. And our average class size with our 15:1 student to faculty ratio, it is only 26. I often say that usually by the second week of your class, the professors will be able to know you by first name, making it exceedingly hard for you to skip any classes, right? Because you really get to know the professors well. And what's also important is that we are the home of the coyotes, and that's our mascot. And we do have tremendous amount of diversity here at USD. And next, please. So to zero in on some of our academic programs, just a general overview, we do have a total of 8 colleges within the university. What's really important is that USD does feature the only law school and medical school in the state of South Dakota. The arts and sciences, of course, and College of Fine Arts, and Beacom School of Business, and also School of Education. So I will touch on some of the internship and co-op opportunities within each school in just a bit. Next, please. So the first exciting opportunity I want to feature is actually our Idea Fest. So that is a campus-wide event. You would apply through a competitive application process in November. Once accepted, congratulations. You and your teammates, as well as your mentor or your professor, will work hard on this research project. And first week of April, it will be your time to shine. Now, needless to say, putting in all this hard work, it really will make your resume stand out. And no, it is not restricted just to science or physics or math. You could be coming from a variety of majors. You could be featured in this Idea Fest. Click next, please. And we also have the opportunity, quite a few of them actually, including our Summer Scholars Program. And I want to point out that these are actually paid opportunities. So let me just take, with the summer research, you will also apply, and the scholars and also mentors or professors come from a variety of fields, which means that you have a very diverse cohort. And you will stay on campus during the summer for a few weeks, and you also receive $5,000 stipend for doing this incredible work. Next, please. And we also have featured program within the School of Science or Health Sciences. Whether you're interested in biology, sociology, psychology, you have the opportunity to apply with our partnership and collaboration with Stanford Foundation. Stanford Research, they have the summer program, as well as our SPURA, which is a research program during the summer with a strong emphasis on addictions. Stanford also sponsors SURE, Summer Undergraduate Research Program, where it has an emphasis on working with and in Native American communities here in the state of South Dakota. Next, please. So if you happen to be interested in arts and humanities, we do have a variety of other funding options to enable you to do research, co-op, or internships. For example, if you happen to be from the Department of Political Science, which has a variety of majors, say international studies, philosophy, criminal justice, so on and so forth, you are able to tap into the 1.5 million endowment that enable you to potentially go to, say, Washington, D.C. to intern for a congressional representative or any of the think tanks during the summer. And our program will help supplement some of your cost, help you offset your cost. Now, the beauty of this particular program for these variety of majors is that, give you an example, one of our recent graduate, over her 4 years of undergraduate, she actually went to Costa Rica, Dubai, and 2 other countries, and her total out-of-pocket expenses came out to be only $2,000 because a lot of those costs were supplemented by our research grants and scholarship opportunities. Our Department of Chemistry, another example, is that we also have a great grant funding from NSF, National Science Foundation. So out of 24 research scholars during the summer, once again, they each receive $5,000 stipend, enabling them to really conduct research during the summer stress-free because they don't need to take on an additional job to supplement their living expenses. Next, please. So, and also we have an amazing portal, which is called Kyo Careers. With this portal, and if you could click next one more time. With this portal, you actually have a search function that enable you to identify the most suitable internship and co-op opportunities. And there are hundreds featured, of course, through the USD portal. Whether your major is education or perhaps arts and sciences or even fine arts, there is a place for you to consider and be considered. And the best part, when you look down here, even when you graduate, you can still access and be considered through this portal. Next, please. So I just want to point out that there are additional opportunities, and let me also share with you some of the success stories from our variety of departments. For example, our computer science program, which by the way has the only artificial intelligence program in the state of South Dakota. We have students and alumni that actually intern for Google, and he actually works there now, and also for Sony. Our kinesiology and sport management, which is under the School of Education, actually has a student that interned recently in Florida and working with NFL players. And our business program, Beacon School of Business, has the highest level of accreditation from AACSB. So some of the Fortune 500 or Fortune 50 companies actually only recruit at ASB accredited schools. So for example, Goldman Sachs, subsidiaries of Berkshire Hathaway, we have students that have interned there, if not currently working there. Through our School of Education, we have also innovated a whole year of co-op or student teaching. Some programs in education only require you to do 1 semester. In fact, contrary to that, at USD, your senior year, you will hardly see the campus. You come back to the campus only once a month. Why do we do that? Because we want to give you ample amount of time to share the time and also share your talents and face the students and learn how to work with fellow teachers and administrators. So by the time you graduate or even before you graduate, you're very and thoroughly comfortable in a classroom setting, enabling you to be an effective teacher right off the gate. We do have 13 school districts in the tri-state area, once again, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa, that you can select from. And another, the final example I want to provide you with is our College of Fine Arts. We actually have a design club students that they are very, very proactive. Throughout the year, they actually fundraise for their money. And during the summer, they reach out to respective design companies, either in Chicago, LA, maybe New York, or sometimes Minneapolis. They do so and then take a road trip during the summer to show off their portfolio. And as a result of their proactivity and robust, we prepare our students. Many of them end up being employed in some of these design firms or get lucrative internship opportunities. So of course, there are a lot more details that I would love to share with you. I hope what I've shared has intrigued you to consider the University of South Dakota. And certainly, please stay in touch with me and you can see my contact information. My colleague here, Michelle, she was actually going to present some health sciences opportunities, but unfortunately she's not able to make it. That's why I still include her in case if you're wondering some internship opportunities within the medical field, definitely reach out to either one of us. Thank you very much for your attention and I look forward to your questions. So I guess it's a good time for us to transition to some questions or Q&As.
I'll just address maybe a question that I got in Q&A. I did answer the student, but they were asking if a grade 11 student, so junior, can apply to our university. You can't, you do have to be a senior. We will ask you to apply in the fall or spring of your senior year. So you do need to graduate high school and show that in order to finalize your admission.
I wanted to throw something in there. I don't know if the other schools have this, but I know specifically with the art and design colleges, there are opportunities for pre-college programs. So I know, for example, students from freshman through junior year at our college can apply to come and do an experience where they live on campus for 3 weeks and they do immersive learning experiences in the major of their interest. So it's kind of like being a practice college student for the summer. And you can earn college credit for programs like that. So I know a lot of schools offer those for the different programs. And those are a great way for students to make sure that the major they're interested in applying to is where they actually want to invest their college tuition dollars. So I would highly encourage, students who are juniors or younger to look for those opportunities to get a feel for that field that you may be interested in early on.
Thank you. And if I could also pick up what Jill had shared, in case if you happen to be interested in any of the students tuning in, you may apply to USD as early as the day you receive your junior year transcript. So as soon as you complete your junior year and you have the transcript in hand, please do apply. We want to get you start early because then you can do a whole host of tasks during the summer, and then there's less to worry about, and then you have more time to enjoy your senior year. And previously, I didn't get to mention, to be accepted into USD, we require 2.6 cumulative GPA, or this is really important, or 21 ACT or 1070 on your SAT, or top 50% of your class. Any one of those 3 criteria, we'd be gladly accepting. Thank you. And since Brandy, you mentioned this, the sort of a trial run and get to visit the campus from a design perspective or art school perspective. I do want to share with you briefly that we at USD, we celebrate the life and achievement of Mr. Oscar Howe. So Oscar Howe is actually a very well-known Plains Native American artist who has now since passed. He got his degree from USD, and also in his name, we annually we have Oscar Howe Summer Art Institute, and his art is truly magnificent. During the summer, you would be, this is all expenses paid. You come to our campus, stay for a week and a half, and you also get to interact with some nationally known Native American artists and basically expand your artistic portfolio and modalities. And you do not need to be a Native American to apply, but this is one exciting opportunity for students interested in art and design through USD. Thank you.
It looks like we do have a question that just came in about how AP classes work for credit. I think we can all speak for a little bit about that for our own institutions. You'll probably find it's pretty similar. Here in Manitoba, we do accept AP courses. We take 4s and 5s, so we do give transfer credit for that. Find the list on our website. However, we also give scholarships as well, and we can use those grades in the class itself for admission. So there's a lot of benefits, especially the scholarship aspect. So not only you get the credits, you can also get additional dollars on top of that. So Brandy, you can maybe speak on your university as well, if you like.
Yeah, yes. So we definitely accept AP, Advanced Placement, and IB, International Baccalaureate test scores for college credit. So for us, it's not the class, but it's if you score similarly a 4 or 5 on the test, then that can transfer over for credit. The only exception is with us for the AP art classes, those studio art classes and design classes. In addition to scoring the 4 and a 5, we also need to review either work in your portfolio that demonstrates the skills from those tests, or the actual assignments, the final submissions for those tests, like your final assignments for those AP classes, because we want to make sure the learning outcome is the same for the undergraduate classes. So if the portfolio for your AP art classes is approved, then you get the credit, but for all of the gen ed classes for IB and AP, you get credit as well.
Text you. Similarly, at the University of South Dakota, we actually have AP credit policy guide, and I just put it in the text box. So feel free to look it up. Generally speaking, just like any other university, if you have a 4 or 5, it could be transferred in from, for your AP exam. And on a similar vein, we do have equivalency calculator. That is to say, if you have taken any dual credit classes, or specifically for the state of Minnesota, if you take PSEO classes, then you could use this function and this really inconvenient web tool to figure out which classes that could be transferred. Now, please take note that there will be some paperwork involved, so just know that. And the other part, the final part, is that if a particular class doesn't show up on the list, don't panic. That's why I'm here. That's why I get paid. Let me know. I can help you petition for that particular class or classes to have it transferred. Okay, thank you. Excellent questions, by the way. Thank you. Keep them coming. We still have time. Well, if I could see right here, Anastasia asked about looking into creative writing and English related field. And CCS, Brandy, seems amazing, but doesn't offer that as a major. So would you want to comment on that, Brandy?
Yes, I was just sharing with that student that we have a copywriting program within our advertising design department. So that's a form of creative writing where students are learning to write for the advertising industry. So it's a combination of marketing, storytelling, and in advertising to help influence consumer thinking. So that can be everything on speaking on behalf of brands, political parties, social causes, and more. And in the advertising industry, copywriters are paired with art directors or creative directors to do their work. So that is an area of study that we offer. And then creative writing specifically is one of the minors that we offer at CCS. So for a student who was interested in writing, we would suggest them looking into our advertising design department and considering our creative writing minor. We don't have an English specific major though, because it's a visual arts program. You would still have, even with a copywriting program, you'd be doing a lot of copywriting, but you'd also be learning, video skills and design and script writing and a lot of different types of things to augment just the writing portion of your curriculum.
Now, while Brandy's college does seem and appear to be very amazing, I also want to appeal to you, Anastasia. USD does have an English department and with a variety of specializations, including that of a creative writing. And not presuming all English majors like Shakespeare, but I do want to mention here at USD, during the summer, we have a strong collaboration with the South Dakota Council on Arts and Humanities. So we put together a Shakespeare festival every summer, usually by June. So they do ask the community to get involved. You could audition for that or do some background work. That is going to be a heck of fun. And two final points is that since you're looking at copywriting, once again, USD does have the only law school. Why not take a class or two at an undergraduate level? And also with our BCom School of Business, you can couple that with some of our patent business classes or other creative ways that you can combine business into your English curriculum. Thank you so much for your question.
So I see a question came in about computer science or business courses. I'm not sure if that was for everyone or for a specific school. I know at CCS, we are big on the business of art. And so all of our students are required to, just as part of the curriculum, to take at least one basic business class, but within our entrepreneurial studies emphasis, students are doing a deeper dive into what would look like a business certification. So they're doing money management for artists and designers, they're doing branding for artists and designers, they're doing advanced business courses. And we actually pair with a local business school here in Michigan with their faculty to offer that program and certification. So we have graduates, I know the first example that comes to mind, like Veronica Scott, she's one of our product design students who in her junior year at CCS designed an idea for a business where she would hire individuals experiencing homelessness and teach them the skill of fabrication to create these coats that she designed as a designer that transform from winter coats into sleeping bags to help people who can't get into shelters. So we worked with her in our entrepreneurial studies focus, as well as with some of our industry connections. We were able to get her funding. We were able to get her the materials to produce the coats. That business started in her junior year. It's called the Empowerment Plan. It's now a $4.5 million enterprise where she's donated over 50,000 coats across the country and to 20 developing countries across the world. Since starting in her junior year, she's hired 95 individuals. Every single one of those individuals have, within 4 to 6 weeks of working for Veronica, stepped out of homelessness and not one has stepped back into it. And so the entrepreneurial studies classes and courses and support systems help that student to find the resources, write the business plan, get that model, and then because of the sponsored connections to sustain her industry connections to grow her business and work across the world. So we definitely help students who want to start their own business and make a difference in the world using creativity in that way.
If I could just take one final minute to address Omar's question, and thank you, Brandy. Once again, I want to point out USD does have the Department of Computer Science featuring the only AI certificate program in the state of South Dakota. And you and I both know the future in computer is in artificial intelligence, whether we like it or not, right? And in terms of a business, BCom School for Business, we have 10 different specializations and also fast track allowing you to consider and apply into MBA program. So you may get into the MBA or master degree program as early as your senior year, saving you entire year and plenty of tuition. So once again, I attached my information there already. So thank you for your interest.
Jill, it would only be fair to let you address that question as well, please. Right?
Sure. Yeah, we do offer both of those programs. Here we do offer a Bachelor of Commerce honors degree in several different business majors that you can choose from, and that has our largest co-op program. So it's a great one to choose. And computer science, we have several specialties as well. So you could do networks and information systems, artificial intelligence, security, software engineering, and lots more. So that's a great program with lots of work experience as well. I think I said in my presentation, but some of our computer science students have worked at Amazon and Google for their co-op work experience terms. But beyond that, we have some really cool work being done at startup companies too, like Shopify and Bold Commerce. So if you're looking to get more into that realm, I think that would be a good program to select as well. So I would suggest perhaps going on our websites. It looks like we put them in a chat there, all of us. So maybe check that out and watch some videos on our websites, browse a little bit, and do that before applying so that you can get some more information. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Those were great presentations. I'm sure all of the attendees learned a lot, and just want to echo what everybody said. Reach out to them. I'm sure all of them would be happy to continue the conversation with you. This does bring us to the end of this session. So we want to thank all of our attendees for joining us, and certainly thank all of our panelists for spending some time to share information about your schools and the world of hands-on experiences. Before we do close out this session, just a few quick reminders. The first, that you will receive a very quick 5-question survey that we ask that you complete. And again, this is just day one of a 3-day series of events. We have some 6x6 sessions where institutions will be presenting about their schools, admissions, housing, etc., as well as some more panelists. So if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do so. And a recording of this session will be available at the strivescan.com/Minnesota website. But thank you again to everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good day.